What's going on, people? In this video I'll be talking about the difference between life in Emakhaya and life in Joburg. So this whole video is going to be based on having money and not having money. So the first segment is water. So as a person that lives in Joburg, when you feel thirsty, what do? You just walk to the tap and you pour the water whenever you feel like it. Even if you feel like drinking water at 1 o'clock, you can just do that. But for people that live in Emakhaya, it's different. It's hectic. It's a struggle just to get water. You have people walking kilometers to get water. And depending on the financial struggle at your place, most people have the means to dig up a hole and purify the water down underground and get the water like a jardin. But for people that can't afford that, bro, we used to do this back in the day. So every day we would wake up, get a wheelbarrow, then you get like 3 20-liter bottles and you put them in a wheelbarrow and you go to the tap. So the government generally digs holes, they install a water tap for the community. So in these places, there is no road, it's gravel. So mind you, you're doing this, and on top of that, this gravel, ushama stand. Meanwhile, you're trying to get water. So what we would do when we go there, it used to be a really dope thing because it was like a community gathering kind of thing where people get together and like wash their clothes. Other people would like play games. It was like a social gathering, picking up water. And you could say that's a positive. Plus the water is natural. It has all the minerals. It's been filtered naturally. Those are the positives. The negative of that thing is when it's cold and you have to wake up to get water, bro, there is no waking up at night and just going to the tap and opening the water. Most people that live in Jozi would never understand the misery of that, and they live in a luxury. But then, hey man, life is all about perspective. The second segment is responsibilities. Bro, life Emakhaya, there is no just doing what you want to do. There is like a strict structure, schedule. You don't get to do what you want when you want. After you've done your chores is when you do things that you want to do. For example, every Saturday, and because you would go to school, that would be an excuse not to do this. So what we would do on Saturdays and Sundays is we would go see Ngomo. If this in English is herding livestock. So we would take literally Ngomo, cows and sheep and goats, then take them to graze, and we follow them while they're grazing all over the place. So that means you go the whole day, bro. The sun is beating you. You hungry, you sitting in silence and you're looking at cows, bro. Yo, that shit is crazy. But in that place, when you're in that world, it's actually the reality. It's a norm. It's not a big deal. Actually, there are actually positive things out of that. 1, this guy is in nature. 2, he's with people forming bonds. 3, there are rivers we get to swim. 4, bro, you get to control. You get to learn how to control things as a young child. Like following cows. Cows, they don't have any problem. But goats, bro, I hate goats, bro. Goats have like this behavior that's insane. They don't listen. They are like in simple terms, goats don't care about what you say, bro. If you show the goats that they shouldn't go here and you beat them up to make an example, bro, they don't care, bro. If one goat sees like grass, if the goat sees maize, it's gonna take the maize, bro. It's gonna eat it. It doesn't not care if you beat it or not. And once one goat does that, then the rest follow. So goats are hell, bro. But that's why they taste so good, bro. I get to enjoy your ass, nigga. Bro, in Joburg, the responsibilities that you have are like ridiculous, bro. Here you could say it's like heaven. You don't get to do much, but then it doesn't build you as a human. So the responsibility at Jozi would be like washing dishes or like cutting grass or washing the car, which is still a responsibility. But most people, they don't even have responsibilities. You could say cooking is a responsibility, but the problem with like these responsibilities at Jozi is that they don't build the character, dog. They don't build the human, and it takes them out of the nature in them and it molds them into AI.
Really? That's what we've come to? It's pretty damn sad. I'm starting to lose faith, I must admit.
The next segment is toilets. Yes, bro, you heard me. Toilets. Bro, Emakhaya, there is no toilet inside the house. So, bro, I don't need to explain further, but bro, how sickening that shit is, bro. So let me tell a story, bro. One time, it was raining, 12 o'clock. I had stomach problem, so I had to go out and do the thing. Bro, I get out, it's raining. I'm cold as shit, and you have to walk practically like 1,000 meters to get to the toilet. It's not near the houses. for obvious reasons. So I get out there, bro. I'm out here doing stunts, jumping puddles so that I don't get wet. Oh my god, that shit was disgusting, bro. And when you're a kid, that shit is scary, bro, because every shadow you see monsters, which is like a reflection of yourself. Because right now, if I were to do the same thing, I wouldn't be thinking about monsters, bro. I'll be thinking about solving the problem. Yeah, you get to the toilet, you do your thing, but even doing your thing, bro, it's scary. Because one of my biggest phobias, I don't know if it's a phobia or fear, whatever, bro, my biggest fear is falling inside that shit, dog. And the crazy thing is that the shit is no longer shit, bro. It's like a chemical, toxic chemical, bro. If I fall in there, I'll probably get some superpowers, bro. I guarantee that shit. But I ain't willing to take the risk, dog. I'm not touching shit willingly. Nigga, that shit ain't happening. So, yeah, that's how you take your shit in Emakhaya. But in Joburg, bro, it's so bougie, nigga. Whenever you feel like shitting. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock a.m. Nigga, you do anything you feel like doing. And the crazy thing about it is that you got tissue, bro, which is something pretty normal to our world in Joburg. But then in Emakhaya, bro, 9 times out of 10, there ain't no tissue, bro. What you use is a newspaper. Bro, you get that newspaper, you do the motion of washing. You see, when you wash your shirt with your hands, you do that motion on the newspaper to make it softer. Bro, struggle life. Bro, using toilet paper is a luxury, dog. It does not matter if it's 1 ply, 2 ply, nigga, that's toilet paper. So, bro, that's how the toilets go. The 4th segment is the hobbies. So like I said, Emakhaya, once you're done with your responsibilities, now you can do what you like. And the thing about Emakhaya is that there is no internet, bro. There's no Wi-Fi. You know, I only learned about Wi-Fi once I was in Josie in my late teens. Bro, when I was a kid, there was no such thing as Wi-Fi, bro. Only thing is you had your phone with music. So what we do, we play soccer on gravel. Obviously we would like go play with clay and form sculptures, make like cows, make cars like out of the clay. We'd get it from a nearby river. I mentioned the swimming in the rivers. We would also get take the clay, take a stick, then put it on top of the stick, then like hit each other. So we'll do that when we go out with the livestock. So those are the kind of hobbies that you have in Emakhaya. And there is no watching TV, bro. Bro, my grandfather's probably the strictest nigga on earth, bro. Back then, bro, there was no watching TV, bro. PlayStation, nigga, way, bro. The only time you watch TV is when he's watching TV. If he catches you watching TV, it's like you've committed the biggest sin in the whole entire world. So, bro, I didn't watch cartoons until I lived with my mother in Joburg. Back then, nigga, there was no such thing as a cartoon, bro. Yeah, in Joburg, you got TV, nigga, you got streaming, you got, you practically have the whole world in your hand. And, hey man, if you don't know internet, it doesn't hurt you, bro. But when you know that there's such a thing called internet and you can't have it, that's when it hurts you. So, bro, the kind of hobbies that you can have in Joburg are just ridiculous, bro. At this point, it's just killing yourself. Because the hobbies are literally killing yourself. Smoking hookah, watching TV, looking at the phone. People are AI at this point, dog. People don't have real relationships. You know, bro, most people are even scared to approach hands, bro. You know, Emakhaya, you have to literally look at a midi in her face and say, hey, yo, I like you. Bro, in Joburg, niggas go to DMs, bro. There's no such thing as approaching. That's why Guababa, it's at its all-time high. It's because niggas are just AI at this point. They don't know how to act like humans. Like, they lost the human touch. They don't know how to communicate as a human. And I kind of like feel sorry for people. And yeah, I do the same thing. But I would never go to like these dating sites and try to get a medi. Not that I haven't done it, but I'm saying at this point I would never do it. Because I recognize that the only way to get a medi really is to actually approach her. That's the way of a human. Bro, if you want to live in this digital age, of course you can like have like advantages like that. Bro, if you want that, you can do that. But I want to have the human experience of feeling an energy. Because 9 times out of 10 on the internet, people portray a certain image. They want you to look at them at their best light. And that means that you controlling my perception. That means that those other parts of you, they could be really ugly. But when are you lying to me practically? So I ain't cool with that. The next segment I'm gonna talk about is the weed. So the weed in Emakhaya back in the day, I didn't even know what weed was back in the day, bro. As a kid, nigga, you're not doing that shit. You only get these type of things when you come here in Josie. But one time in Emakhaya, when like I was a teenager, I was smoking weed, they actually grow their own weed. But their weed is Swazi. If you know what Swazi is, bro, you know what I'm talking about. That weed is Emakhaya. So practically, when you take the weed and put it in your hand, with one stroke, you can actually crush it and you'll be fine. So the weed was that bad. So you would have people rolling big ass joints like ching chang chong, but nigga, that shit is trash, bro. You need to smoke a whole arm to feel anything. So hey man, at this point the weed is better. Like I recently went to Emakhaya and the weed is actually good, not great. The weed is good, bro. But in Joburg, my god, bro, the land of the heavens, bro, you get the best weed here, bro. Nigga, I've never complained about weed. I've never complained about weed. The only time I complained about weed is when I was a kid and I didn't know what weed was. So people would play with you and they would rob you because you were a kid, nigga. I understand in that kind of like perspective. But then since I've been spiritually awakened, now I can actually tell what good weed and bad weed. The moral of the story is Emakhaya is Emakhaya. Joburg is Joburg. You can't really compare the two. If I were to choose, I would actually live Emakhaya because I like peace more. And I like the nature, the wilderness. Here at Josie, bro, everything is together. People are, when you look out the window, you see your neighbor's house. If he opens the door, you can see his living room. Nah, bro, I'm cool with that. I ain't tryna, nigga, I'm tryna have some privacy, dog.